We're off and running again with another Rounders series, this time NGC 3406 to 3499. You are, of course, looking at Messier 82, one of the two Bode's galaxies. Tonight I'm going to stick with 5-inch exposure times, and I'm going to spend more time allowing stacks to develop. So that should be 4 stacks, 5 seconds each. This is a view that's been optimized initially for a nice dark background sky. I'm going to play. You're noticing already some improvement in the amount of detail seen in the galaxy as the screen brightens a little bit and stars lose a little bit of their piquancy, but there's far more of Messier 81 now visible. I think we've added at least 20% to its apparent size. So let's get started trying to probably get 15 within 16 minutes, 15 studies in the NGC Rounders series. Here we're having a last night review of NGC 3403. It's in Draco at 10 hours 55.1 plus 73 degrees 41 minutes 24 seconds. It's a visual magnitude 12.2 with a size of 3 by 1.2 arc minutes, surface brightness of 13.4 and a position angle of 73 degrees in 1991 through a 17.5-inch scope. Fairly faint, moderately large, elongated 5 to 2, weakly concentrated. A mag 12.5 star is 3.1 arc minutes southeast of center, and that is Steve Gottlieb's notes on NGC 3403. First study of the evening is, in this particular rounder series, is NGC 3406 at 10 hours 54.2 seconds plus 51 degrees 1 minute 26 seconds in Ursa Majoris. Visual magnitude 12.7, smallish 0.9 by 0.7 arc minutes with an average surface brightness pretty much the same as its integrated brightness, but it's 12.0 through a 17.5 in 1995, moderately bright, fairly small, elongated 3 to 2. Visually, this appeared as a double system with a very small bright core and stellar nucleus that was offset at the southwest end, and we're seeing that, with a faint extension in the northeast of the core. All right, there's indications this is a strongly interacting double system with nuclei separated by a mere 12 arc seconds. And we got that view here. I could play a little bit more, balancing a better notion of aesthetics versus the presence of the galaxy. So there we go. Here we have NGC 3407. It's an Ursa Majoris at 10 hours 17.9 plus 61 degrees 22 minutes 46 seconds. Visual magnitude 13.6, 2 to 1 aspect ratio 1.4 to 0.7 with an average surface brightness of 13.5 and a position angle of 15 degrees. Through 17.5 in 1988, faint, very small, slightly elongated, with a small, bright core. I would say we're pretty much capturing that at 5 seconds exposures and balancing out aesthetics versus presence, although I think I might be able to get a little more presence out of the galaxy, and there we've done it. Here we're seeing NGC 3408 in Ursa Majoris, 10 hours 11.7 plus 58 degrees 26 minutes 18 seconds. Visual magnitude 13.5. So this baby is right on the limits of showing some kind of detail beyond the core region and aura. Size 1 by 0.9 arc minutes with an average surface brightness of 13.1, a position angle of 175. Through 17.5 in scope in 1988. Steve says faint, small, round, broad concentration, diffuse, no sharp edges or nucleus. A mag 15 star is 1.6 arc minutes to the north and east. That's likely to be our star right there. NGC 3410 is going to be the faintest and smallest galaxy of the evening. It's got the brightest average surface brightness, however, It's in Ursa Majoris, visual magnitude 14.1, size zero point 0.4 by zero point 0.3 arc minutes. Multiply that by 60, and you get arc seconds. Surface brightness of 11.9. Through a 17.5 scope in 1995, Steve says very faint, very small, round, low surface brightness, no concentration, with a mag 14 star, 2 arc minutes south-southeast, and located 1.8 arc minutes southeast of double system NGC 3406. Well, we're not quite making this one out because that's the double system that we've been talking about. This could be it here. It's quite faint. I've really had to sacrifice some aesthetics on this. But it's got to be a very small, tight galaxy, so it's hard to say, but look at this nebulosity right here. Going to have to check this out on the manana. NGC 3435, also in Ursa Majoris, 10 hours 54:48.4 plus 61 degrees 17:23. Visual magnitude 13.2 with a size of 1.9 by 1.2 arc minutes. Average surface brightness of 14 and a position angle of 45 degrees. That all maps really well, but it looks kind of edge on to my eye. Through 17.5 in 1988, fairly faint, fairly small, elongated southwest northeast with a bright core. Yeah, that and more. We're almost getting a sense of some kind of texture along the spine of this galaxy. Here we have NGC 3440, but plus another brighter galaxy in the same field, west to the east, so we should be coming up with one. That one later, possibly not in this rounder series. NGC 3440 is an Ursa Majoris, 10 hours 53:49.6 plus 57 degrees, 7 minutes, 8 seconds. Visual magnitude 13.2 with a size of 2.1 by 0.5 arc minutes. Surface brightness 13.1 and a position angle of 48 degrees. That would be this galaxy right here. 17.5 in 1988, fairly faint, small, very elongated, small, bright core, forms a pair with NGC 3445, 10 arc minutes to the southeast. I would venture to say this is NGC 3445 right here. Now we have NGC 3445, as we saw in the previous image. It's also an Ursa Majoris, 10 hours 54:35.9 plus 56 degrees, 59:24. Visual magnitude of 12.6, size 1.6 by 1.5 arc minutes with an average surface brightness of 13.4. Through a 48-inch scope in 2012, described as bright, moderately large, very irregular shape, roughly 1.2 arc minutes in diameter. The brightest portion of the galaxy is on the north and east, and it is very mottled with slightly brighter knots. A couple are on the east end. Attached on the west side and spreading further south is a spiral arm appearing more like a diffuse extension. This arm fades out on the southeast side of the galaxy, just beyond galaxy MCG plus 10, minus 16, minus 24, 1.2 arc minutes southeast of center. Here we have the brightest and largest galaxy of the evening, but also the faintest average surface brightness at 14.4. This is NGC 3448. In Ursa Majoris, 10 hours 54:39 plus 54 degrees 18:19. Visual magnitude 12.1, size 5.6 by 1.8, with a surface brightness of 14.4 as said. Position angle of 65 degrees. The 24-inch scope. In 2014, Steve viewed supernova 2014G, which was discovered on January 14th. I have to turn a page here. Supernova is located at the southwest tip, 44 seconds west and 20 seconds south of center. Quite easy to pick out. It was immediately noticed at 125x, but 200x provided a better view. It was listed at magnitude 14, but I thought it might be a bit brighter. Now I'm going to push the magnification up on this one. And it is bringing out far more detail in the galaxy, but we're just surveying right now. So I don't really want to spend time with every galaxy doing zoomage. Perhaps in the future, when we picked out a few very select studies to spend more time on. Okay, although we've only spent 10 minutes and some 15 seconds on the video so far, it's now 9:57. It's clearly sky dark, and it is a fourth day moon on this, the 30th of May, 2025. I will not be continuing with rounder series until the moon is in abeyance, but I will take the 150 millimeter ED out if the weather holds for the next couple of evenings. What we're seeing here is, not seeing here, I'm going to play with the, wow, there we go. That helped. All right, what we're seeing here is NGC 3458. It's magnitude 12.6, 1.4 by zero point 0.9 arc minutes in Ursa Majoris, 10 hours 5601.5, 57 degrees, 7 minutes, 1 second. Its size is 1.4 by zero point 0.9, surface brightness of 12.6, and a position angle of 5 degrees. It looks like it has an annulus. Through a 17.5 scope in 88, fairly bright, very small, round, very bright stellar nucleus, very faint small halo, forms a wide galaxy pair with NGC 3445, south 13.9 arc minutes southwest in the field. Here we have NGC 3465 in Draco at 10 hours 59 minutes 31.3 plus 75 degrees 11 minutes 29 seconds. Visual magnitude 13.5 with a size of 1.3 by 1.1, average surface brightness 13.8, and a position angle almost left to right at 171 degrees. Through a 24-inch scope in 2014, Steve says 375 appeared fairly faint, fairly small, elongated 4 to 3 east-west, 30 by 22 arc seconds, contains a very small, brighter core, and occasional stellar nucleus. I'm going to boost this up to 200 e-zoom, and now we are seeing the bright core. There's a secondary core there and an aura around it. There appears to be possibility of another galaxy there, but we'll leave it at that. NGC 3470 in Ursa Majoris, dropping down a little bit to the south. 10 hours 58:44.9 plus 59 degrees 30 minutes 39 seconds. Visual magnitude 13.2 with a size of 1.4 by 1.2 and an average surface brightness of 13.7. Position angle 170 degrees. This one should test our theory that 13.5 magnitude galaxies with an average surface brightness of roughly the same should show some sense of texture. And I do believe I'm seeing it there. 17.5-inch scope, 1988, faint, small, slightly elongated with a weak concentration and a diffuse outer halo. The outer halo is quite apparent to me. All right, moving on. NGC 3471. Ursa Majoris, 10 hours 5909.1 plus 61 degrees 31 minutes 51 seconds. Visual magnitude 12.5, size 1.7 by 0.8 arc minute, surface brightness 12.8, and a position angle of 14 degrees. Through a 17.5-inch scope in 88, moderately bright, moderately large, elongated 2 to 1 north-south, broad concentration, faint, elongated halo, located 34 arc minutes west-southwest of Alpha Ursa Majoris, and I think I will scale back so we can see Alpha right here. All right, the Big Bear's brightest star of the past. Here we have NGC 3478 in Ursa Majoris, 10 hours 59:27.3 plus 46 degrees 7 minutes 21 seconds. Visual magnitude of 12.9, 2.6 by 1.2 arc minutes with an average surface brightness of 13.9 and a position angle of 132 degrees through a 17.5-inch scope. Faint, fairly small, elongated 2 to 1, large, brighter middle, but no defined nucleus. Yeah, very nice description. Okay, we're just passing the 15-minute mark, and this is our second to last galaxy of the evening, NGC 3488. At 11 hours, 1 minute, 23.6, plus 57 degrees, 4039 in Ursa Majoris, visual magnitude 12.9, size 1.9 by 1.3 arc minutes with a surface brightness of 13.7, and a position angle of 175 degrees. In 1988, through that 17.5-inch scope, described as moderately large, fairly small, slightly elongated north-south, gradually brighter core. The MAG 13.5 star is at the south-southeast edge. 1 arc minute from center forms a pair with CG 291-0217 arc minutes west-northwest. Here's our west, north, and there it is. There's actually a couple of galaxies visible there. Before I zoom in, that very bright star is Beta Ursa Majoris, probably second 2.5 magnitude star. We'll do our zoomage now. It'll disappear from the field, and I will play with, histogram settings right about there, optimizing both the view and the detail. Final galaxy of the evening, NGC 3499 in Ursa Majoris, 11 hours, 3 minutes, 11 seconds, 56 degrees, 1318, visual magnitude 13.6, size 0.8 by 0.7 arc minutes with a surface brightness of 12.9, through 17.5-inch scope in 1988, fairly faint, very small, round, bright core, stellar nucleus, located 14.8 arc minutes southeast of Beta Ursa Majoris, whose visual magnitude is 2.4. We have now completed some 295 galaxies, which is basically about 8.4% of the NGC catalog. But let's have one nice view before we exit. It's now 11 minutes after 10 in the evening. You're seeing, of course, what you might expect to be Messier 81. We're not getting a particularly good view of everything, although I can see the swirling spiral arms there at 50x. Let's go push it up to 100x. What we're looking for here is a good view and at 5-second force stack exposure. So let us expose it a wee bit longer at this point. We are seeing the extensions of the spiral arms. We're seeing some dark bars and lanes. It looks like a pretty good view. I don't think I can play too much with the histogram, but let's give it a shot. To bring out a little bit more, but we lost some of the visual. Oh, that's a nice balance right there. I'm going to center it up for a nice and final, for the next couple of weeks, Carpe Noctem view of this beautiful 90,000 light year in diameter, 11 million light year distant spiral galaxy, which lies probably 5 or 6 million light years outside of the local groups of galaxies, and certainly rivals our own, but is kind of dwarfed by Messier 31, the great Andromeda galaxy, Carpe Noctem.